What's happening? It's Real Live, and this is Check Me Out.
Yeah, this your boy Ski 3, and I'm on Check Me Out.
Check me out.
Yo, yo, yo. This is the portal. Check me out. Check me out.
Check me out. Check me out. Check me out. Check me out. Check me out. Check me out. Check me out. Check me out.
What's good, everyone? This is JTL, and this is another episode of Check Me Out. Before we get started, make sure you like, share, comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. All right, so we got a dope show for y'all today. This show, we're gonna be talking about the importance of recording studios. Y'all know, back in the days, that was the thing. When you were starting as an artist, go to a professional studio, get the best engineer, the best sound. You know what I'm saying? You got the best beat, ready to record. So we got James Wood from Executive Studios here in Clearwater, Florida. All right. So we're gonna also be talking about two classic albums that dropped on this day. Y'all know we gotta do that every time, man. We gotta enlighten y'all, give y'all some knowledge when it comes to hip hop. You know what I'm saying? Or when it comes to just great music, period. You know what I mean? So go ahead, get comfortable, grab your vice, whatever that is. You know we ain't judging, like we say all the time, and just sit back, peep the greatness. Let's get started. Recording studios have always been the place where artists could let their hair down and be creative. No need to be perfect, just create. Looking back in history, the first recording studio was opened in 1890, called the New York Phonograph Company, and making the first business model. The New York Phonograph Company would work with independent artists or go and record live performances like we still do to this day. Over the years, recording studios have made history with great music being made, just like Hitsville, owned by Motown Records creator Berry Gordy, where they recorded artists like Marvin Gaye or The Temptations, or recording studios like Electric Lady that was created and owned by the late great Jimi Hendrix, where Prince would record while in New York. Another legendary recording studio where the magic would happen, but also an unfortunate event, Quad Studios, where iconic megastar Tupac Shakur would be robbed and shot while heading to a recording session with another artist. While in the last 2 decades, the recording studio will have its ups and downs due to more people building home studios because it's more affordable. But it's nothing better than knowing and having one of the best studio and engineers in the business at your fingertips. That's why we had to have James Woods of Executive Studios on for an interview, so you can learn how important recording studios still are. Got my boy Batman the DJ here. Say what up to the people, man.
What up, everybody? How y'all doing? How y'all feeling out there? Hope everybody's blessed and everything, you know.
All right, so check it. So we talking about recording studios. You remember because for me, I remember the first time I went to a studio, you know what I'm saying? My brother, he took me, you know what I'm saying? And I did my first demo, you know, I featured on one of my homeboys' songs, and you know, it was a dope experience. And matter of fact, that's the first time I seen Pro Tools. This was like '03, I think. Like '02, '03. And this was the first time I seen somebody working on Pro Tools, you know what I mean? So a lot of people didn't even know Pro Tools was out there early. Matter of fact, Pro Tools was out, I think, like mid 90s, because I think RICHEZ worked on it, was one of the first people to record on it. So let's talk about your first experience going to a recording studio.
I was 14, like 14-ish, and it was $25 an hour. It was on the east side of Oklahoma City, and it was me and two other dudes, Mexican dude and this other dude, and other dude didn't know how to rap, so I wrote his rhymes for him.
You ain't gotta tell me about that, but go ahead.
You said what?
Nothing. Nothing. Go ahead.
No, what'd you say?
I just say you gotta tell everybody you was ghostwriting the man rhymes, man. Dang,
I didn't know that was the term for it. I wasn't being that. I mean, it wasn't like.
Anyway, go ahead.
I did it all without a pen. You knew that was coming. Instead of mind y'all again. I'm sorry. Let me stop. Okay. Anyway, now so all right. So listen, my experience was good and bad, because like it was no other feeling of it. Like, yo, I got in there, and like and put something together. It's like before we had instrumentals, we would take little snippets of, a song, and made our own instrumental. Like you'll have two cassette tapes, and you'll have the pause and a record on one, and then you play
Right.
what you want to do, and then you unpause it to get the sample, pause it back, rewind that other back. You know what I'm saying? That's how you looped it to get your sample. Which lightweight is the same thing as these machines do, and everything else. They just do it differently.
Oh
Um,
yeah, you was doing a poor man's reel to reel, basically. Like the
yeah,
reel to reel. Yeah,
yeah, pretty
like a poor
much.
man's reel to reel. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
yeah. Um, so I learned how to sample for the first time. I learned how to actually sample. He had a keyboard, and he had a link to his keyboard where the sounds could go to a certain key on a real keyboard, and that's how I could loop. I was making beats there, like he was showing me, and I made one beat, and it was on a cassette tape, and it got lost, you know, in the wind around the time I started having kids, and we was moving from North Carolina to Oklahoma. You know what I'm saying? So, but that's how I kind of lightweight learned how to make a beat and all that. I learned how to make a beat on a keyboard.
And that was in the studio you was at?
Yeah, the studio that I was at, it was in this dude's garage.
Mm.
He had his garage turned completely into it was like a garage where you close he closed off the door to make it like some people would make it like to an entertainment room, but he made it a studio, and
Oh,
that's what
cool.
worked. Now the bad part about my experience is that the dude figured just because we're young, he figured he could get over on us. So like we'll come there and he'll say, "Oh, I got to finish, connecting this, or I got to do this." Like it's always something where we couldn't start right at that time, so where he would try to get more money. Like, no, we was here for 2.5 hours. He was like, but you was messing with your equipment, blah 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 blah, and
Mm.
all that stopped I when I started bringing my brother to the studio, my older brother. You know what I'm saying? Because my brother, and my mother would just drop us off and then come back and get us. And but my brother would, he started staying up there, and then he tried it that first time, and my brother was like, "Yeah, so this don't count towards the session, right?" And he was like, "No, no, no, no," and that's how and then it never happened again. Then after a while, because of that, he acted like he couldn't record anymore. Like he was always too busy or whatever, this, that, and the other. And
Mm.
that particular incident, as far as us recording, trying to record demos and stuff, happened.
And you know what? That's one thing that me and James from Executive Studio talked about it in the interview, where somebody will go like they'll overlook him. You know what I mean? Even though he got track progress of working with professional artists in the game, like top artists in the game right now. People would
Yeah,
come like on the other side. People would come to him, right, and then say he charged too much, but then go to a studio where they charging way too much, record with them, and then come back to him and try to fix it. Like you go to a mechanic and the mechanic tell you
yeah,
don't go over there and then come back and try to make me fix it. You know what I'm saying? But you talking about the same thing I've dealt with, going to the studio, a dude being a janky engineer. And, that's why I was glad to do the interview, because that's something young artists up and coming need to learn, you know what I mean? How to go in there, be about your business, and also find the right engineer that's not going to fool around with your time, which is money. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah.
that's a good story that you just told. That's a good story.
Or
So yeah.
or or you save your money and just learn how to do it yourself. I mean, I went to a pawn shop yesterday. I found a MPC one, a car MPC one, I think it is, or whatever,
Mm,
uh, 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 for just a little over $400. I open it up, it's brand new.
mm.
Like the software pack hasn't even been opened. So I guess like you can find good equipment. You just gotta search for it. And if you don't have a lot of money, then
Mm-hmm.
there's other avenues, where you can go online and you can get your equipment and pay it out, you know. But do that, and because for me, when I come up with the best songs or ideas and stuff, it's always at a random time. You know what I'm saying? Like I could be up in the middle of the night and have to go pee, and I go pee, and then I'll think about something like, oh, actually that's a dope song. So then what I'll do is I'll put it into into like my recorder on my phone or something. It's just as a footnote.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because I don't care how much you say. Oh, I remember it. I'll remember it. No, you won't. No, you won't.
Yeah, but I think it just depends on what your patience is. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Because I've been recording, what I'm saying, for some years now, and some people don't have the patience. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna lie, I got over it. That's why I may record like maybe two artists at the most right now, and that's not consistently. That's here and there when they need me. They're in the crunch, they want to get something done, so they can go ahead
yeah,
and make a video. So I think it also depends. You know what I'm saying? If you're somebody who's patient and you can learn it, because I like one of my younger cousins right now. He been stacking up on his equipment. He got a nice little setup at the crib now. He getting better at mixing and all that. So
yeah.
he's able to make a song. You know what I'm saying? Whenever. He's able to make a song whenever. You know what I mean? So let's go ahead. Now that we got that out the way with recording studios, let's go ahead and talk about these two classic albums though. Man, we gonna go ahead, let it drop, you know what I mean? Let people see what we're gonna be talking about. But you already know. I'm gonna give y'all a preview real quick. The first one,
Okay.
man, Road to the Riches by Kool Rap and DJ Polo. That's
I
the
got a
first
funny
one.
story about
And when we come back, and the second one is He's the DJ, I'm the Rapper by Fresh Prince and DJ Jazzy Jeff. Man, two classic albums. So we'll
that.
be
Sure.
back, y'all. And you know what I mean? We're gonna drop some commentary on those classics. We'll be back.
Peace.
On March 29th, 1988. Yo, March 29th, I like that day. DJ Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince release He's the DJ, I'm the Rapper. Before the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air would air in the early 90s, Will Smith and Jazz were one of the best hip-hop duos to ever be known. Jazzy Jeff being one of the most underrated DJs till he got to show his undeniable skills on one of VH1's Hip Hop Honor Show. The group's second album would have the single Parents Just Don't Understand, which received the first Grammy in hip hop. But Fresh Prince and DJ Jazzy Jeff, along with Public Enemy and other artists, would end up boycotting the Grammys due to the disrespect of not airing the Fresh Prince and DJ Jazzy Jeff receiving their award. But He's the DJ and I'm the Rapper would go on to go platinum and make DJ Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince a household name, as well as one of the most classic hip-hop albums of all time on this day. On March 14, 1989, Kool Rap and DJ Polo would release Road to the Riches, produced by Marlon. Kool Rap would be, if not one of, arguably the main reason rap artists started to use the back-to-back metaphors and similes rhyme flow. And next to Schoolie D, he's one of the first East Coast street hop MCs. Now it's created that term, so don't even think. But the title track, Road to the Riches, is a tale of a young man around the way trying to find his way, while surviving the hard times of the streets and making a living better for himself than the one he grew up in. By taking a non-conventional route, Road to the Riches tells the story of just that. And also, it would be in heavy rotation on the then TV series Yo MTV Raps. Kool Rap and DJ Polo are still one of the best and legendary hip-hop groups of all time, still to this day. So if you don't know, you better go do your research. You're missing out. The Road to the Riches on this day. All right, we back, man. We back. Two classic albums. So let's go ahead and let's talk about the first one, man. Let's talk about that Fresh Prince and DJ Jazzy Jeff. You know what I'm saying? That classic. He's the DJ, I'm the rapper. I'm the rapper, he's the DJ. However you want to slice it and dice it. I remember watching, I think it was Scary Movie 3. You remember
Uh-huh.
when the white dude was trying to be a rapper? And he was like, He's the farmer. I'm the rapper. So, real quick, go ahead and talk about what you remember from that time when that album had dropped. Like, what was your fondest memories from back in the day when that album had dropped?
Before I say that, can I go on the record and say around this time when that album dropped, as much as VH1 holler about hip hop this, hip hop that, and they exploiting our culture, I'm old
Mm,
enough to remember when VH1 would not play a hip hop song on there. And it was during this time when DJ Jazzy Jeff and Fresh Prince was out, and they just
mm,
came out. You know what I'm saying? And they actually, I remember a commercial saying that they would never play that. They don't like us. They never liked us. You know what I'm saying? But that's the only platform we got on, out there for our culture. That's the reason why we making this right here. This is, this is for us. But DJ Jeff and Fresh Prince, that was their second album. A lot of people think that was their first album. That was their second. The first album was Rock the
mm,
House. Rock the house. I don't
mm,
know. But it's a good thing you brought that up because don't make me pull the vinyl out on them. You know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of people slept on Philadelphia rappers. Early Philly rappers were nice. You
mm,
know, yeah, EST from Three Times Dope. You had a few of them. I mean, PSK was it mean? He was always
mm,
man, Schoolie D, Steady
mm.
B. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
but a lot of people thought that he was just, Fresh Prince was just, he was just King rapping. Like, no, you go back and listen to them early DJ Jet Fresh Prince before they started throwing a little more of the comedy in there, a little more of that. It was on some hardcore rock. You can't go back and listen to like time to chill. You know what
Yeah,
I'm
but
saying?
see, on the album, since Paris Just Don't Understand became a big hit, and then you got Nightmare on My Street, you know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? Like, since those songs work, that's always, really being pushed to the forefront. That wasn't because of us.
Yeah,
We love Fresh Prince and Jazzy Jeff, you know what I'm saying, on the underground level because they used to rock the shows. Like, besides, and people may not realize this, you know what I'm saying? Y'all go back and look it up on YouTube. One of the main people, like, I'm gonna name just two artists that had the same energy level as LL Cool J, and that's DMX and Will Smith.
I can see that. And
Two.
then
I just said two. I didn't say the main two. I said two artists that has that level of energy when it comes to performing like LL Cool J do. So when you go back and watch Fresh Prince, like, did you see when they was on Sway and
they tour together
and they was rocking
in
it?
the early days.
Say that again.
They used to tour together in the early days when
Right.
Russell Simmons was managing them. Used to
Mm-hmm.
manage tours and stuff like that. They used to be on tour together. So
Mm.
you know, all of them used to be on tour together. Like them Fat Boys, Run DMC. It was common for all of them to be together. You know what I'm saying? Salt and Pepper. You know what I'm saying?
But
Uh,
you notice, hold on, but I gotta say this. You notice though, no offense to none of the rest of them, but I never seen nobody publicly come out and say it was always hip hop heads like us. But I've never seen none of them people you just named when they put that stigma on Fresh Prince and Jazzy Jeff that, no, man, like that might be commercial success, but them dudes rock the house, man. Jazzy on the turntables, Fresh on the mic, they rock the house, but none of them never gave them their credit, right?
I
I
don't.
mean, am I lying? Am I wrong?
They got they just do because people try to write them off as bubblegum rap, but I mean, what they did for hip hop, you can't change it. You know what I'm saying? Just think about, let alone them winning the first ever Grammy, let alone
Right.
that, right? Think about this. Think about the quality of the music that they had. That Time to Chill with that jazz track. That you know what I'm saying? That's you know what I'm saying. Those are bangers. And that brand new funk. You know what I'm saying, with the Bob James sample, take me to the Mardi Gras sample. You know what I'm saying?
But see, that's what I'm saying. People don't they sleep on that because they just looking at the commercial success. And I'm saying that all the other artists that you named that was on the road with them, because you know you can look on YouTube and see when they was on the road with PE and everybody, and they was in the back, you know, and Will just acting the fool, and then you see him on stage. Like you can look that up on YouTube still to this day. But I'm saying none of these artists ever came out and said, "Yo, y'all came front on Fresh and Jeff like that." You know what I'm saying? They two of the dope. I've never seen it. That's why I say, you know, correct me, because I never seen it. You know what I'm saying? Like, all right, y'all. So now we're gonna go ahead and talk about the Kool G Rap and DJ Polo album, Road to the Riches. I remember, you know what I mean, back in the days, I've seen that video how it start. They in court telling their story, you know what I'm saying? And Kool G Rap was always one of my favorite MCs. Like, even though he wasn't as big as, you know, like LL Cool J and stuff like that, but he still had respect from true MCs that understood what it was, you know what I'm saying? So now we're gonna go ahead, take a quick break, you know what I'm saying? Like I always tell y'all, check out those black entrepreneurs that's doing their thing. You know, go check out their websites, whether you're doing music, you like to read, you know what I'm saying, clothing, you know what I'm saying, your car messed up, broke down. We got people for all that. So y'all go ahead, stay tuned, get your fill up, enjoy these commercials, you know what I mean, holla at some of these black entrepreneurs, and you know we'll be back. What's good, everybody? It's your boy JTL, Opposite from the Norm. And real quick, I just want to let y'all know about Opposite from the Norm apparel t-shirts, brought to you by GFam G-Wear. You like our show and our content? Then go to gfament.com and click on G Store, and there you can purchase an Opposite from the Norm t-shirt. Also, you can check out other great tees that represent true kings and true queens as well. Shirts that motivate and make you feel great. Once again, that's gfament.com and click on the G Store link to get your apparel tees. Now back to the show. Chill!
Here at Above Average Towing, we are here to service your towing needs. We do jump start, towing, tire change, gas delivery, and lockouts. We have certified technicians, we are licensed and insured, and we give you an accurate arrival time as we care about you and want to get you off the road safely. Affordable prices and great customer service. Serving Pinellas County and surrounding areas. Contact us at 727-288-3556.
Putting in work all the time. Whoa, well, hello there. Good to see y'all again. Guess what? I'm Jay Yoko, and we bringing it back right here to JICA. Artist Development 102 is definitely on the way. Tickets will be on Eventbrite, and this is something that you do not going to miss. So for my folks who weren't at 101, don't be that fool and not be at 102. I got my attorney coming through, Shannon Liggin, to drop some jewels when it comes to the law side. I'm bringing you the jewels on how to get the bag, how to market your music, how to promote your music, and build that super fan base. So make sure you're right here in the building. JICA, Artist Development 102. Tickets on Eventbrite. I want to see you here.
Baby girl, God got a plan and a purpose for you. The power of forgive me. The power of faith move mountains.
When's Daddy coming home? He coming home. Just eat your food.
How you supposed to hear me with the headphones on?
I can hear you. What's up?
Okay, Trey, I need you to watch the baby while I'm at work. Can you do that?
What about the daycare we paying for?
I pay for the daycare. You pay $20. That's not paying for daycare. Fair point blank, I can't keep doing this by myself. This is your son also.
Yeah.
Once again, you're walking out.
I'm coming back. I'll be back.
13 years old, killed by the police, man. Sick of this shit. I need to talk to you about something. So what you know about the taxi cab dope gang?
The what?
Follow me. Straight out the bottle, straight out the bar, straight out the bottle, straight out the bar, straight out the bottle, straight out the bar, straight out the bottle, straight out the bar. Follow me.
These police officers don't never think about pulling over taxi cabs, bro. It's the driver, 2 passengers, and 100 pounds of dope.
If you root for Quad, if you root for you, man. Business as usual.
We pull up, we dead and you going 8 shit by that revenue. If I'm caught, I'm going federal. Mine on riches. Always choose money over bitches. Told my nigga in the pen, keep his head up. When I look inside his eyes, I don't see nothing. That's a gone soul. He said first day he gon' replace his with Joe's.
I'm a big dog, no little. Serving that dog food, no kibbles. She gon' eat the drug just like Skittles. I'm the man, not the man in the middle. I ain't trippin', long as my real ones got my bike though. I ain't trippin', long as I keep me some racks, ho.
Home, young blood. Home. You probably get used to it.
That's right. What brought you in here, bro?
This ain't home. This ain't home, bro.
It's your home now, bro.
Home is where the heart at, bro.
Exactly.
Home is where my kids at. Home is where my girl at, bro.
You might want to get used to it, bro. Everything you just named, we got the same thing outside these walls, bro. We got the same thing, but you got a release date though, right?
11 years?
But you got a release date.
In 11 years?
Oh, we got partners in here, when they look at their paperwork, it's all zeros.
My bad, my earlier big dog. Bro, I gotta get used to this, man.
Sound like you ready to have that conversation, bro.
I guess so.
I don't know your story, but what you in for, man?
I'm in here because I trusted the people. Because I trusted my brother. I trusted my friends, and he told on me, bro. I'm talking about told on me.
Man, it sounds like the first day I was in here, bro. You might as well get over that. Using everybody else as an excuse for why you in here ain't gonna help you survive in here. That's bullshit, man. Even though it might be true, because I ain't gonna sit here and tell you what you're feeling is wrong. I'm gonna just tell you need to use that feeling to express it in a different way. Change the narrative. Control your path. Because you in here for a while. So it's either gonna be a good road or a hard road.
Hey, bro, what you reading, man? What it is?
Oh boy, this shit, bang.
Where I'm from, a lot of shit dangerous. Everybody wanna be famous. So they hit from every different angle. Paparazzi people explaining. Where I'm from, a lot of shit dangerous. Everybody wanna be famous. So they hit from every different angle. Paparazzi people explaining. Yeah. Look, you gotta be where I be to see what I see. It made a G out of me. Everyday feelings on E, but my name holding weight in these streets, baby. I'm on TV. Free living got me silent, so I'm too hard. I be swimming to the money like a pool shark. And I can sell water to fish, get them hooked hard. Cause where I'm from, you on the hood or your book small. You could be sick of being down till you come up. Channel the pain and get you reaching for the stars. Daddy walk, that's how we gon' handle it, mama. Reshuffle the deck and hope we deal some better cards.
All right, what's good, everyone? This is JTL, and this is another episode of Check Me Out. All right, so I got somebody here that you guys definitely need when you're doing music. Like I told you before on other episodes, you need a strong team. You need people around you that you can trust when you're trying to, make your best version of you when it comes to your music. So right now, I have somebody, a special guest, James Woods of Executive Studios here in Clearwater, Florida. What's good with you, James?
Hey, how's it going, man? Happy to be on the show.
Thanks, man. I'm glad that we was able to finally get together. My boy Sid, he was telling me about you, I think for the last year or so. He was trying to get me to, come mess with you guys out there on like when you had a couple meet and greets and stuff like that with some producers, artists. But every time, I don't know what's up with Facebook. For some reason, I thought they'll send you a message whether you're logged in or not, but it hasn't been doing that. I missed you a couple times. Yeah, so it's up sometimes.
Sorry to hear that, man. That's cool, man. You know, there's always more of those coming. So.
Oh yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to them, so that way I can come out there, film some stuff and let people see what's going on with you guys.
Right.
So the first things first, I want to start with a little bit of your origin, your background, like where you was born and raised, and what led up to you becoming, an engineer and like running your own recording studio.
Well, my childhood life was. You didn't think music was going to be a part of it, based off, I guess you could say how I grew up and what I was into and stuff when I was young. I guess you say I'll start from the beginning. I was born in Houston, Texas.
Okay.
Didn't really, I moved out when I was like 11. So we moved to Maryland first for like 6 months and then to Virginia. And then I was pretty much in Virginia from 12 till 23. So I did most of my growing up there. Pretty much still my best friends are still out there. But see, but my whole background back then was mostly sports and stuff. So I played, football, basketball, all that kind of stuff. So, unfortunately, I was born with a pretty rare heart condition, which didn't allow me to get to the next level after high school. Heart doctors wouldn't clear me to play any kind of college sports and stuff like that. So from there, even though I kind of already had like a love for music, like I kind of built that, I want to say halfway through high school. I used to freestyle battle people and stuff, and just kind of more on the fun side of things. So after high school was over, and we knew that this is not going to be sports is not going to be my main thing anymore. Let's try to devote that time and energy I put into working out and lifting weights and all that stuff into, let's try to do music for like an actual living, not just freestyle and stuff like that, but like create a record and all that. But where I lived in Virginia, nobody had studios like that. So in my mind, my mentality was, if you want to be an artist, you have to have your own studio, make your own beats, like do it all, you know what I'm saying? But mind you, I was very young and naive. I didn't have any mentor into this. So I just that's kind of how I learned my engineering and production and all that, basically doing it for myself as an artist. Was it when I turned 23, though? This was like 2008. This is when I moved to Florida. My parents had moved out here. Things weren't really doing good for me in Virginia. I ended up having to have one heart procedure, which kind of put me on my butt. So I had to save up and that sort of thing. So that's why I was like, you know what, I'm going to move out. I'll move in with my parents. Mind you, I'm 22 years old when this is going on. So I was like, yeah, I just let me just move in with them for about 6 months and try to get back on my feet and sort of thing. So when I moved out there, a lot of people don't know this, but I have a little brother who was a singer on American Idol. He made it pretty far. So
okay.
He was already singing with the church, and this is before American Idol, of course. But he was already singing with a church that was being recorded at a really professional home studio. So when I moved out there, I kind of already had it mapped out where, hey, my parents already had me hooked up with my little brother's church music director. He plugged me in with the engineer at the studio. So I came out here and immediately I got an internship with this guy who owned Crystal Blue Studios, which is really, shout out Nick Pages, man, taught me a lot of the engineering side of things. So, working with him, I just wanted to be a part of the whole music process any way I can, just since I'm not in it anymore in Virginia. And I pretty much sold all my equipment to my best friend who I was doing the music with to pay the last couple months of rent because, like I said, I was on my butt because of the heart surgery thing. I couldn't work for like 3 months. So I didn't have anything to really go off of. So when I moved out here, got the internship position, like I said, I jumped on it, learned what I could from him. And he did mostly like rock music and stuff. So it was all like my first experiences of being a professional engineer doing it for a living or making any kind of money was miking up guitars and drums and all that kind of stuff. So doing live sound, recording, going to churches and recording a church live or recording festivals or high school musicals. And so I was like pretty much kind of already doing it big time, like from the moment I moved out to Florida, just through the link between my brother and the church that, you know, they were going to. So, and then from there, it's kind of built up.
You if I'm not mistaken, I think I remember Sid saying something about you had, and shout out to my boy Sid Foodies. Y'all go check on Facebook, check my boy Sid out on the Foodies Network.
He needs to invite me one time, man. He'd be always talking about some good food, and I'm like, why you?
I don't think I can hang with Sid on that, man. Every time I look up, like he going somewhere, I'm like, man, I can't even eat that much food.
Yeah.
But
I'd
I
have
think
to
he was
go, it'd be like a one time a day, like once a week kind of thing.
Yeah, that's
I go to one restaurant.
Yeah, me too. But I think he was saying something about you was posted in Atlanta for a little while doing some stuff. The studio.
Yeah. So that, I mean, you know, big fast forward from my story. You know, I worked at a couple studios and eventually opened up my own. The first building I worked out of, and this is how the whole Atlanta thing happened. The building I was working out of belonged to a jingle writer who I had met through, like, you know, just networking and doing that sort of thing. He was a jingle writer. His son was a rock player who actually was in a band that was signed to Winky Wright. So that was all like a really dope situation, because not only Winky Wright's like behind this, but the kid's dad is like freaking, you know, this super successful jingle writer, huge house, big studio, you know. So I was just like, wow, this is like definitely a couple steps up from, you know, the home studio that I was working out of and all that. And I was like, well, this would be a cool opportunity. So I made a deal with him in the beginning, working with his son for free on the weekend. And he would give me the studio after their jingle, which they would only work like 9 to 5. So after 5 p.m., this, you know, beautiful studio would just be shut down, not doing anything, only 9 to 5. So I came in from 5 till like 4 in the morning, just working with any artist I could and worked my way up. Well, so that's kind of like how I kind of got started, you know, doing it on my own. Well, as times got, you know, everybody can agree, gotten a lot tougher, even before coronavirus, just not as money. It wasn't as lucrative, especially for CEOs. So his jingle company kind of went a little downhill, just because, you know, nobody wants to spend $10,000 on the jingle anymore. So he was forced to sell the building. He couldn't keep up with the building payments. I mean, it was you know, pretty big. It was like over 10 grand a month type stuff. So he ended up selling the building, but he had a 3-year lease with him, you know, with the new owner, which he took over the bottom floor, which we paid him. Once that 3-year lease was up, the new owners came to us and said, hey, you guys are using a modified space, which cost this much money, which is 3 times more than what you guys were paying, and 3 times more than what anyone else is going to pay, because it's soundproof. And I'm sitting here like, but you didn't build it. And, you know, I couldn't win that argument. So that was right when Hurricane Irma hit. So our apartment was in a level A flood zone at the same time of dealing with, you know, these guys trying to like double our rent pretty much. So we're just like, you know what, we're just going to pack our stuff. We're pulling out of this building until we can get our own building. But in the meantime, to evacuate from Hurricane Irma, we don't want to bring all the studio stuff to our apartment and it gets flooded out. After you saw what happened in Houston and Texas, that was the same year. So we didn't want to risk it. So we took all the gear and everything. We went up to Atlanta. My wife had a friend who, her parents lived up there, so they let us stay there for a couple weeks. And, you know, kind of, I started just getting sessions while I was up there, just hitting all my contacts that I'd met that live in Atlanta out here. I just started hitting them all up, letting them know I was in town. And yeah, they got me plugged in pretty quick, man. And next thing you know, I'm like working with, you know, Music Soul Child and NBA Youngboy, and, you know, like, I mean, within a couple months of moving to Atlanta. So yeah, we stayed out there for a good year, man. It was definitely fun. I learned a lot of stuff and met some really dope engineers, and even learned a little bit more about the mixing game, opposed to what I just knew from just only learning out here.
Yeah, I mean, like from what I know about Atlanta, I never really got the chance to like really just like squat there and meet people like that. But every time I went there, I always get that vibe of how everybody works together, and you got so many people that's trying to be professional and growing their career, chasing their
Yeah.
dreams. Like it's a dope spot. I gotta definitely give Atlanta credit for that. It's a
Oh
dope
yeah.
spot. Yeah. So when you was in Atlanta, how long did that last? That you was up there, working and doing your thing.
Well, we were up there for a year, but what was crazy about the whole Atlanta situation was the moment we found our house, like where we, kind of moved in, where we pretty much thought like this is going to be it. We're going to just be in Atlanta now. We found out about a building down here. It was a full blown studio. It was already being ran for like, a couple of years, and it was huge. It was actually bigger than our original spot the old building that we were in, that got took over by the new landlords. So we found out about this location from an engineer that worked with me who had a friend that used to work at this studio. Once we got the word, we're like, you know what, we're interested, because I had already been in business for about 4 years, 2013, we left 2013. So 4 years, we've been in business with Executive Studios. And in the meantime, our engineers were just working out of just random studios, and I was just trying to like help them out. I was giving them all my clients while I was living in Atlanta. But then when we found out about this, I'm like, well, dang, we can bring everyone back. So we put out the studio. We went out there. We met with the owner. He was actually having some health problems when he decided to sell his studio. We agreed upon the price of what we're going to pay him up front, monthly, that sort of thing. And we're like, yeah, we locked it in. Now, granted, I was still living in Atlanta, so I was trying to get the studio in Atlanta going on at the same time of taking sessions. But we started getting like pretty busy with the studio up here. So, sorry, with the studio down there or down in Florida, well, here in Florida, while I was in Atlanta. So it got to the point where we're like, you know what, we're probably going to have to move back, just because owning a studio and having engineers work for you and everything running, it's busier than just me trying to find sessions here and there in Atlanta. And don't get me wrong, I love Atlanta, but there's so many engineers, there's so many studios. I'm kind of like a dime a dozen out there. But in Tampa, I already have an established name and everything. So it was just like, kind of made sense to come back and really crank out here, especially now that Florida's really starting to move and artists are starting to blow up out of here. It's like, might as well jump in with the wave while you can instead of trying to ride a wave.
Oh yeah, yeah, I agree with you on that because I just seen I believe LA the GOAT, if I'm not mistaken, from Tampa just got signed with Jermaine Dupri and Def Jam.
Yeah.
So when I found out, I'm like, that's dope because we need more artists like doing their thing in the Tampa Bay area. So
Yeah.
that way, like you said, we don't have to keep traveling to other places to ride somebody else's wave. You got Rod Wave, but I think
Yeah,
he
like
stayed.
I was saying, Rod Wave was one of the artists that worked with us since like 2016.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's one of our success stories, and even I've been working with Plies since 2012. So we've already kind of established so much already. Just being where we're at, it's like just to be a part of it and just see the whole thing blow up. Now, don't get me wrong, I love Atlanta to death, and I would still one day, if I were ever to like really hit it big, to build a studio in Atlanta. I'd rather be a studio owner in Atlanta than an engineer, just because, like I said, there's a dime a dozen. But owning a studio in Atlanta, you could just reach out to all these engineers and stuff and just tell them about your spot, and then they'll come flocking to your spot, and you'll be busy.
Yeah, still some of the other studio.
Yeah,
Still
man.
some of their engineers. I feel
Yeah.
you on that. I hear you on that.
I try to get them to come down here to Florida to work out of my spot, and it's tough, man. They're just like, they're looking at it like we're not as busy, and the studios are not as nice as Atlanta because they got big investors and stuff. But
yeah.
it's cool. I mean, at the same time, it's like it's that big fish in the small pond or little fish in the ocean thing. It's like, what do you want to be? You know what I'm saying? So.
And that's what we trying to do, like with the show and stuff like that. Be able to like highlight some artists that's trying to do their thing and stuff like that here in the city. You know what I'm saying? So I'm with you on that same grind. I'm with you on that. So you said you talked about working with NBA YoungBoy, Plies. You work with Kevin Gates, I think too, right?
Yeah, I mean, I've gotten a placement. I never worked with him in person, but like sessions being sent over, sort of thing.
Okay.
Yeah, the
So
last time I think I worked with him was when he did the song with Plies with that with what is it called? I can't think of it right off the top of my head now. Dang. I can't think of it. I'm gonna have to Google it real fast. I'm gonna have to Google a song I've done.
But what you work, with like Rod Wave and Plies and everybody, like how was it for you working with established artists like that versus, I guess you could say, indie artists trying to be on the move? Like, is there anything different with creative and like the business process that you can talk about? Like, what's the difference? Like
with bigger artists?
Yeah.
Well, a lot of them, if there's a label, it's a lot of, send the session here and da-da-da. They have a whole process that they run through when they drop a song off versus like how I noticed a lot of local artists, they just pretty much take the song and upload it to YouTube, shoot a video to it, you know what I'm saying? And just kind of like, all right, it's out, listen to my song. Any kind of major artist that's, especially like I said, with a label, they have a whole rollout. They have like, all right, this is the schedule. We're gonna promote the release, which not a lot of people do out here. Like, they just might put a little bit of money and just promote an actual song once it's released, but they'll promote the release of the, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, they'll announce it, put money into announcing it, then put more money into when it actually drops. So yeah, they're spending an astronomical amount of money on after the studio versus the guys out here. They'll probably spend just as much money on studio out here as marketing, whereas a bigger artist will spend probably 10 to 20 times more than what their actual production and studio fees are. So yeah.
Like, I seen one post you had, which I agree with you, because all right, since I was learning how to engineer myself since I was like 14, 15 years old. So I've done in the studio engineering, I've done the home engineering, going to friends engineering, to help them out at their studio or their house.
Right.
Talk a little bit about that post you made about the frustration of somebody coming to you acting like you're charging too much, but then they go to someone, they mess it up, but then they come back to you and want you to clean it up, and they still want you to give them the homeboy discount.
Yeah, I mean, that's just more on the local artist side, because a lot of artists, especially out here, have this whole mindset of like, if you haven't done it big, then you really can't tell me anything. And even though I've done some stuff and I have my plaques to prove it and stuff like that, but at the end of the day, it's like they look at it like you're only as good at, I don't know, maybe as good as the last session or something. They treat it like, hey, we're going to come to your studio, but we need a discount because we think we're going to be the next biggest thing. We're going to help your studio out by coming to your spot, that sort of thing. You've heard that a million times.
Mm-hmm.
So they'll have this whole, vibe to them that they're like this big shot guy, but then they'll go to Atlanta or LA and then they'll be like, yes, please. Oh, is that the price? Okay. Like, they're not going to sit there and bargain with them. They're going to treat them, they're going to bow down to them because, they got the real plaques. The real artists come through here. So we have to abide. Their rules are real rules that we have to follow. You know what I'm saying? We'll go back to Tampa. And then, like I said, they'll go there and they'll praise the studio and the vibe. But then they'll work with an engineer, because here's the thing. I know I've been to a lot of the big studios and stuff all the time. If you don't bring your own engineer, they're just going to give you whoever's is working that day. Mostly it's just interns working. You're not going to have a big name engineer just sitting at the studio waiting for a session. No, like that guy, a good engineer is booked and they got their own calendar going on, and you're not going to just get, especially if they don't even know who you are. Most big engineers only want to work with the big label artists. And the studios are going to give the big label artists only to those engineers. If they don't know you, like you're coming to the studio and you're not on the radio or something, they're going to be like, hey, one of you guys sweeping back here, y'all want to take this session?
That's foul.
I'm not saying they're bad engineers. I mean, I'm pretty sure even the guys sweeping the floor went to Full Sail. They're trying to be in that big engineer shoe, so they're doing whatever it takes. And I'm definitely not knocking or saying all the engineers are bad or anything like that. But it's like, this is what you're getting and this is what you're paying for. You're paying 3 times more than what you're paying me. So, and then this is what you're getting. You're getting, you know,
And you still end up getting a guy that doesn't even have a track record to
right.
even. It makes sense why you paying this money just because you're in a big studio.
So they're in there with like a basic template. Everything is just basic. They're not in there switching, you know, gear out and testing out what mic is the best. They're just, oh, I can't mess up. I'm just going to run with whatever's in there already. So who knows what kind of microphone you're going to get. I've actually had someone tell me that they had a microphone being like held up with sticks and tape, and and they were paying a lot of money. It was like a really nice studio, but everything in the studio was like falling apart. So it was like, yeah, I mean, it is what it is. So yeah, then they'll go to these studios, pay all this all this money, and then it sounds like something that was, like I said, really basic sounding, like something that was recorded out of an amateur home studio. Even though they have all this gear, but they don't know what they're just hitting record. They're not telling the artist where to be and all that kind of thing. So they don't know how to produce. They're just hitting record. And then, like I said, they'll bring it back to me and, hey, James, man, we spent a lot of money on this record so far, man. We went up to Atlanta. We paid for hotels and a rent-a-car and da-da-da, man. You got to take it easy on us. I was like, oh, you paid all that money to them, but not to me, the guy you are actually relying on to make the music sound good. You're paying all the fugazi stuff. You're paying all that money. Like, I'll pay $200, $100 to mix a song, but I spent $2,400 over here trying to record it. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, it should have been the opposite. You should have paid $200 to record it, pay me $2,400 to mix it.
Yeah, and you know what? I think it is like, because I'm not gonna lie, when I was 18, 19, me and my brother made a trip to Atlanta back in the days. We ignorantly thought if we go do this is our chance to become superstars because we're being around the stuff that makes superstars great.
Right.
Not realize it's about curating who you are and becoming the best artist you are. So I think that's what a lot of it is like artists thinking, oh, if I get around these people, that's gonna help me, versus like because I've also, when I was still trying to go to different studios from time to time, I've had guys actually, like, I call them, you know what I'm saying, like, you got any mixes or anything I can hear, you know what I'm saying, doing it the right way before I spend all this money. And they basically looking like, what I need to prove to you, I've already done this and I work with such and such. And I'm like, you're still running a business, like,
right, of course.
That's like going to a restaurant and asking for a menu and they get mad at you. Like, really? You know what I'm saying?
Know our food. Yeah, usually what I'll do is we have a website, so I just direct the artist to I'm like, they want to hear something, I'm like, hey, check our website out, go to the music tab, or I'll have the link already for the music tab. Pretty much everything on this thing, we've mixed and mastered, you know.
Yeah, exactly. So how has it been since you know everything's been going on, especially with the pandemic right now? How has it been for, like, you know, working with artists and, you know, your business still, like, how's that flowing for you within this pandemic?
The studio's actually been doing a lot better than it has even before the pandemic, just for I think the simple fact that everything's closed. So instead of going to the club and spending money on table and bottles and showing off, just coming to the studio, man. At first we had to make some rules because they were coming just like the clubs. They were coming deep and they wanted a party. Like, they didn't want to just only record. They wanted to, like, fully come like 15, 20 deep. So we made a rule, 3 people rule. You get fined if you bring any more than that. You know, you got to pay a fee for that kind of stuff. So we did our best to, like, we had pretty much someone coming in to clean our studio top to bottom, sanitize it twice a week. We had hand sanitizers everywhere. Like, we definitely did our part of trying to keep the place clean. And, of course, when I first heard about the pandemic, I wasn't wearing gloves. I had the mask. I had, I was decked out. I even bought a hazmat suit because I didn't know how serious it really was.
You brought an outbreak suit? You brought an outbreak.
I'm gonna wear it for Halloween or something.
Okay, so but you say it's actually doing better now. That's good, because I see a lot of places like kind of hurting, but then, like you said, certain places like that, people are more focused. I guess, like,
actually a lot of the studio owners I've talked to they're all like, man, we've been busy. We've been busier than ever. So it definitely, the studio business is I don't know. I always say the entertainment industry itself is always going to be recession proof, just because that's what people turn to when times get bad. Entertainment. So, I mean, it obviously worked back in the Great Depression. That's when the whole movie era blew up.
Yeah, I see that. Yeah. So with everything that you're doing now, and you say everything is doing good, that's great. You know, I know it's kind of tough, but I noticed like you try to do I forget the last one you had. I guess it was kind of like a mix or a meet and greet. Was the last one Justice League or it was another one after that?
It was Pull Up and Play.
Pull Up
That
and Play.
was Pull Up and Play is being hosted by L Nice. He's a really good connect to have as well. He started off, he goes by DJ L Nice. I'm assuming he used to DJ, but now he pretty much kind of A&Rs and puts, like businesses together kind of thing, like sets up artists or producers with labels, that sort of thing. So he's a really good guy to know, especially if you have a hit song. He can shop those songs to labels and try to get you a deal. But he brings like big A&Rs. He's brought Bobby Fischer a bunch of times. He's the guy who founded Trey Songz. And he works with a lot of big name artists as well. But they do these events. They come probably like once every 3 to 4 months to my spot. And yeah, it's kind of like a listening. You pay to play your music in front of everybody. I mean, it's big producers in there. I believe E from Po Boy, guy who founded Flow Rider, was there. So you never know who's in the building, but it's always a good group of people. All the music always sounds really dope in there. People are definitely bringing their A game. So it's your chance to like showcase your artistry in front of like real A&Rs and people that can actually really make something happen for you. So yeah,
you say once every 3-4 months.
Yeah, that's kind of, and he just pretty much just goes from like studio to studio, like different. He'll do a studio in Miami, studio in Atlanta, North Carolina. I know he got a couple spots that he just frequently travels to, and they do these pull up and play events, and I mean it's pretty big, man. They have like people from 94.1 come through, so.
Okay, that's cool. That's what's up. So yeah, because I was like I think that's the thing. Like a lot of artists need to try their best to like get out there and let more people use their stuff and all that. So I want to ask you a question. Like when it comes to the studio, and you said putting certain rules down, what advice will you give to artists on things like that about bringing a big entourage with them? Saying for its focus when you get in there, don't be playing around like you wasting your money and your time. Like what kind of
I would always suggest artists not bring anyone, but I mean it doesn't hurt to bring like the producer, because obviously he can hear stuff in the song that the artist might not hear. So if you know the producer, obviously try to bring him. And then you can bring like somebody you feel that can help elevate your music, I guess you want to say. Maybe like like if you sing, bring like a singing instructor or something like that. Someone that can help you get your pitch right, that can help you, find, or if you work with songwriters, someone that can hear something and come up with a catchy riff immediately and help you come up with something. Somebody that can help benefit your music. But just bringing your friends just to hang out and chill and smoke with and all that, yeah, you're just gonna get into that, and then he's gonna throw out his little 2 cents, and you might not agree with it, but that's your homeboy. He's telling you what he thinks sounds good, and the next thing you know, you start bringing in all these people that want to be producers all of a sudden. So now your music's going all kind of different directions. So yeah, it definitely doesn't help. And then like I said, the productivity definitely goes down a lot when you bring a lot of people. And especially when you bring like 10 people, 20 people, and I can't even hear you no more. I'm having to like put headphones on to even record you, and you're over here trying to tell me instructions while homeboy's playing 2K, talking smack loud as hell, to the person he just dunked on or whatever. So yeah, I mean it gets crazy in there. Everybody's trying to talk over each other while I'm over here like, all right, I'm just gonna crank up the music to let everyone know like, shut up.
But do you ever like kind of pull the artist to the side and be like,
oh yeah, all the time.
You know what I mean? Yeah,
all the time. Yeah, I try. lot of times though, they're just too faded to even understand what I'm talking about or care. Like, yeah, like I said, there's some, like I tell you, there's some that take it serious and some just do this for fun, man. Some people just do it for the gram. I've actually had an artist straight up tell me, like, because he actually made like a cool little club song, even though it didn't really have great lyrics, but it had like a cool, fun beat, and he pretty much kind of almost ad-libbed the whole thing. It wasn't even like he had bars; he just kind of like chanted.
Oh, like a chant, yeah, like a
chant thing throughout the whole thing. It was kind of catchy though. I mean, it was cool. And I was just like, man, you need to get. What are you gonna do with the song? He's just like, man, I'm not a rapper, man. I'm just trying to get some girls at the strip club. I know the DJ at the strip club, so. I mean, you can't. What are you gonna say? This is what he's doing it for. Some people do it because they love music. Some people do it because they want to be rich. Some people want to get some girls. They want to get laid or something. I don't know. I can't tell people what they want to do it for.
Yeah. I mean, so I'm glad I'm able to do this interview with you because, like I said, I've had a lot of those terrible experiences, man. How to tell people to chill out or how many people they bring. I ain't gonna say other stuff that they bring sometimes. You like, why would you bring that with you? You know what I mean? Besides the people, certain things they bring.
Right. One big thing, like I said, if you're trying to be a studio owner and you don't want that kind of, like, you don't want like just a lot of people in your studio, just have a limit. And if you go over a certain limit, charge them for it, make some money off of it. I mean, hell, you wouldn't mind it if you made an extra $100. You know what I'm saying? Hey, what are you gonna be mad at that? They're paying for it. They're gonna pay you extra to bring their friends, or charge extra per head or whatever. I mean, at the end of the day, let the artists do what they want. But if, like I said, if it's something that it's making you uncomfortable, then I think doing that's gonna stop a lot of that. You know what I'm saying? And then they gonna hit you with, oh, this is my baby mama and my 6 kids. I gotta bring them. They try to hit you with a family thing and try to make you feel bad. But hey, man, rules are rules.
Yeah, I remember being in small like bedrooms, and people bring like 10 people. I'm like, bro, it ain't even enough seats in here to sit 15 people. Only 4 or 5 people literally can fit in here. You bringing 10 more people with you, like I don't think artists realize how much of a headache that could be. You know what I'm saying? Because you'll see like
somebody spilling a drink somewhere. Like chances of an accident happening, it goes up tremendously. There's 10 people in there, somebody spilled something, I guarantee it. It's guaranteed something will spill. You bring like 3 people, you got like a 50-50 chance. 2 people, 20% chance.
So let me ask you this: when you with working with artists, like who's the well, not who, but what's the best type of mindset that an artist brings that you love to work with? Like, you know what I'm saying? Maybe you can help artists to understand like the best way to come in, focus, and what help the engineer help you more. You know what I mean? When you come into your studio session that you're paying for.
I mean, obviously, if they got the song like memorized pretty much, that always helps. And someone that can already gauge their energy and know how to like come on the track already. Because a lot of times I have artists that get on the track and then they start asking me, "What do you think? What do you think? What do you think?" And I'll tell them what I think, and then they're just like, but they don't know how to change it. You know what I'm saying? They don't know really. Like I'll be like, "Oh, put some more energy," and they'll just go high pitch. I'm like, no, don't go high pitch. You know, stay in that key that you're in, but just make it like, just make it hit more. You know what I'm saying? Like say it like you really mean it, like you're at a show or something. But yeah, they'll get these artists and they just kind of like, they just got their head just in their paper reading, you know what I'm saying, or in their phone reading it. So they're not really paying attention to the energy they're putting out. They're just trying to make sure they get the next word right. You know what I'm saying? So if you already have it memorized, you can kind of already facilitate how much, you get your flow, your cadence, all that kind of stuff. You can kind of already, especially if you know it by heart, you can sit there and do it a bunch of different ways. You know what I'm saying? You could change your flow up because you already know the lyrics. But if you don't know the lyrics, you're just going to sit there and probably take the simplest flow ever, because that's the easiest way you're going to be able to catch all the lines and all the words. You're just going to stay in this little same cadence. So, I think people that can hear it and just be like, okay, this is the energy that matches the song. They can hear pitch. Artists that can hear pitch are lovely to have, because I don't have to sit there and be like, it's out of pitch, and then they sing it out of pitch again in a whole nother pitch. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, you don't hear that? Like the artists that pay attention to like where the key of the song is, and my voice needs to sit right in there.
Mm.
I'll be like, try to follow a note in there. If there's a piano or a guitar playing, follow it. Be in that same, the guitar is done, 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 done. Hey, rap like this. You know what I'm saying? Just be in the same key. It makes it melodic and it flows together. But if your guitar sounds like this and you're rapping like this, it's like just, yeah, man.
Yeah.
It fights. Next thing you know, you can have those people like cringe when they, when they listen to your songs. They're like, turn it off.
All right, you say knowing your stuff, you know what I'm saying, paying attention. Like, what's another thing? Maybe when it comes to respect for the engineers, you know what I'm saying, opinion. Like, whether they ask for it or not, maybe you trying to lend an opinion. Like, how do you feel like, with the respect factor of an engineer and artist, you know what I'm saying, relationship?
I guess I think a lot of that has to do with what I've seen with engineers is more of like a preference to who they're working with. Somebody that they like working with, I think the engineer is going to put more into their music. I do my best to try to do it for everybody, but I ain't gonna lie, there's some artists where I'm just listening to it and I'm like, there's nothing I could do to help this. Like, I'm just gonna mix it and record it and make it sound the best I can. But this artist is just completely tone deaf, sound like he doesn't get it. He's just trying to, like I say, he's watching IG and wants to be a little baby. So but he doesn't know anything about it. This is probably his first time ever rapping. But when I get an artist that's been doing it and they're just so creative and everything that they're putting together, even their beat selection comes down to the beat selection. Like what you know what the sound is. You have beats that like I can already jam out to before we even record it. So the fact that they can come up with, they bring dope beats and they got the really cool hooks and and I think another one is the songwriting. If the songwriting I feel is very powerful and it's going to move people, it's like, man, I want to help that artist get to that top level. But if it's a song and it's just you're just trying to rhyme words together and one line's about getting girls and the very next line's about shooting somebody and then the next line's about being in love and you broke my heart and then the very next line is screw all these O's and da-da-da. I'm just like, wait, you're changing, you're contradicting yourself every 2 bars. What are you doing?
Yeah.
Like, I'll have guys that come in and do, and the song will be called like, you stole my heart or something, whatever. And the hook is everything. And the next thing you know, they're rapping about selling drugs. I'm like, wait, whoa. Shawty, I got my gun in the club. You can roll with me. I'm like, I guess that's romantic. I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. I see that all the time.
Yeah, I guess that's how I got it all wrong. That's how you pick up women in the club and show them, hey, man, I snuck my gun in this bitch. I got power. I don't know. Like that was a real lyric. Like they were talking about, it's like a love song kind of thing. Like you want to be with this girl, and then it literally went into like I'm in the club with my strap on. Like what? I think you're off topic, sir.
You like whatever, keep going.
Yeah. Hey, I think you got the wrong verse, man. Try to go through your phone and try to find another verse that's more about the girls and stuff, man.
And focus on one topic in the female.
Yeah. So yeah, when you have stuff like that, like I'll tell them that.
Yeah.
I'll be like, hey, you think that's a little off topic? A lot of times they're just like, sorry. But yeah, I just, I'll be like, hey, get back on topic, man. And if they follow, a lot of times they're just like, nah, man, I like it this way. Just hit record, man. You keep doing your thing.
You get to that point after a while, you like, all right, well, let me just hurry and get it out of here then.
That's only, like I said, if the artist, they're not willing to work or whatever. They want me to be an engineer. But that rarely happens. I mean, a lot of times they want to know what I think of it. I'll give my opinion, and it's like a 50-50 whether they take it or not. So.
What about mixing? Like one last question. So what about when it comes to mixing?
Nope.
Like when somebody's over your shoulder trying to like tell you how they want it mixed versus leaving you alone and letting you just, do your thing. You know what I mean? When you're trying to mix and complete, but somebody's all in your ear. No, I wanted this, or I like the way the baby had this sound effect and trick on his song. Can you do it like that? Versus letting you fetch it, then the tricks or something like that.
I don't mind it because a lot of stuff I probably never even heard before, and tricks like I have my arsenal of tricks in my head that I just know how to like get to real quick. I got my presets, all that kind of stuff. But sometimes, I don't get a chance to hear all the music in the world because, being in a studio, that's the last thing you want to do is as soon as you leave the studio, just blast the radio. Like I like my peace and quiet sometimes. But so there's a lot of songs I don't catch, and now in this modern world, man, with all these crazy plugins that are coming out, like I've got my hands on a bunch of them, man, that can just do so much with vocals or just any kind of piece of audio. So it's like to hear what they can do, and I'm just like, let me fit. It puts me in that creative spot of like trying to figure it out. It's like the same thing if something stops working, you want to take it apart and figure out exactly how it works, and then you can put it back together and it starts working again. I feel the same way about learning some of these tricks and stuff that a lot of these engineers are doing with the big name artists. And so I can hear it and I'll be like, oh, okay, they use that kind of plug-in and they did this kind of automation with the delay and the volume and the panning, Okay, let me see if I can do it real quick, And it's one of those things, once I figure it out and I get that sound down, now I have that trick in my arsenal at any given time.
Okay.
So when an artist does, I kind of almost like that because it allows me to, because that's how the artist is associating their sound. Because sometimes artists don't know their own sound. So you as an engineer either have to kind of figure it out for them, or most of the time you figure it out together. But if they're like, look, I like the baby vibe. I hear his ad libs, and I can immediately listen to it and get it close to that sound right from the, opposed to like trying different things and the artist, no, you know what, I'm going to go to a different engineer because you don't got it. And I'm like, but I don't even know what to look for. I'm just sitting here going through stuff. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, the artist can kind of already have a sound established. Like a lot of times if I'm mixing the artist, the first thing I do, I want to listen to their last couple songs that they've dropped. You know what I'm saying? To kind of get a vibe of what they're going for. Because if you just try to change up their whole entire vibe, yeah, they're gonna be like, we don't want none. Take all that stuff out, put it back to normal.
Yeah.
So,
okay. Yeah, I hear you on that, man. But I gotta say, man, shouts out to you because engineering is man, like people don't realize how stressful it could be if a lot of artists are not, working good. It's always a great thing when an artist come in and know what they want, get in there, knock it out. You know what I mean? It's because me personally, I took a break for years. I had people come back, man, yo, Jay, you ain't going, nah, man, I'm good. But it's usually because it's the artist who asking me to do it. I'll be like, nah, I don't do it no more. Because I work like exclusively like maybe one or two artists here and there when they, they need something last minute. They want to work with somebody. So that's why I was like, yo, I got to get James on here because he can speak to it and I understand where he's coming from. You know what I mean? So I was like, yo, we got to get this dude on here, let him speak what he feels about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I definitely appreciate you stopping by, man, to give me some time, you know what I'm saying, holler at the artists and stuff. So
shout out to the artists, definitely, because they're the ones keeping all this stuff floating right now. And this is only due time before the artists here in the city are the ones getting paid, because once they start getting paid, then us guys that do the services are going to get paid a lot more. You know what I'm saying? So that's another big thing. I always try to help artists get to that point because I feel like if I help them get to that level, they gonna circle back around, man. Hopefully, I can say everybody, but a good chunk of them should circle back around and take care of the engineer.
Well, at least have to get your name out there even more. It's always it's always ways to like help yourself level up some kind of way out of it. Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah. So real quick, so on I know people can see stuff on Instagram. But let people know what your handle is, you know what I mean? So people can, reach out, get your dope services, man. You know what I mean? Everywhere they can reach out to you and, holler at you.
Yeah. So we got the IG, that's probably the best way, or one of the best ways that's Executive Studios, plural, Studios Official. That's the IG. Our email, you can hit us on our email. That's execstudios. That's EXECSTUDIOS @gmail.com. And of course, we got the app. It's on Google and it's on Apple. You can book sessions right from the app. and just type executive studios in the app, and yep, there we are. And of course, we got the website www.executive-studios.com because the other one's taken or something. So we had to put a little dash in there. So yeah, so executive-studios.com, or download our app. Just type Executive Studios in Google Play or the Apple Store. The app should pretty much do what you need it to do. You can do all kinds of stuff on there. Shout out to my wife. She's the one that put that app together in like one day. That's another thing I could definitely, if you ever, man, have someone on the team that just knows the business, that just has a business mindset, business degrees, and my wife was a godsend for that because I'd probably just be still working out of studios if it wasn't for her. She helped me establish the whole build. Let's get our own studio and let's do this.
So if she charged to make apps, I might need to make me an app sooner or later. I'm trying to find people who do the best apps and stuff like that.
Right. I mean, it wasn't like it was nothing crazy. I mean, it pretty much our app is our website, just kind of streamlined into an app form. So yeah, I could talk to her, but I don't know if she's gonna be doing it like it. She said it was a headache. It was a pain in the butt. So I don't know.
Never mind. I totally understand. All right, man, James. I appreciate you, man. We gotta try to link up again, and whenever you guys have the meet and greets or the pull-ups, I definitely want to try get up with you so I can come do some footage and stuff and holler at some people there as well.
There is an artist. He's an artist, producer, songwriter kind of guy, but he does a lot of events. He's doing something where he's doing it the second Thursday of is it second Thursday or second? I think it's the second Thursday of every month. He's doing it's basically he's doing something where artists sign up for it and you get to do a live performance and they interview inside the studio, and it's like a in studio show. Like we like open up the booth. We have a huge booth in our studio, so we actually have like a whole DJ set up, and we mic, I record it live and everything. So I think we're doing our next one on March 18th.
Okay.
So, yeah, if you want to come and check it out, man, I definitely plug you in with the guy who's running it. And he's a cool guy. I've known him forever as well too.
That's
but
what's up.
He's trying to start something really cool, kind of like the small desk performance. You've seen those?
Yeah.
He's almost kind of doing something like that, but more, obviously like in a booth in a small environment with a crowd, and not a big crowd, obviously, but we'll see. Definitely bringing a lot of new artists over, and we've got we did one event and already booked like 2 artists just from that event alone. So yeah, it works in our favor. So
heck yeah.
but it's just another platform for artists. Since all the clubs and stuff are really shut down, they're not. It's tough to get anything going. This is just a cool way just to get your stuff out there, and he's recording it and they're editing it. So hopefully once his platform kind of builds up, more people are going to definitely jump on it, because that's what it's all about, is trying to build that platform up to where people want to go onto this, to his IG and look up who's performing and watch some of the videos and stuff.
Oh, okay. So he posted all the time when he does and stuff.
Yeah, he's still building it up though. Like he only did one of them so far, so I don't even think he has like all his. Like he'd only have one post really about just the first show. So I think he's trying to get a couple shows under his belt to kind of build the content for it. So once it starts, but hey man, if you want to come through, I'll definitely introduce you. Yeah. Kind of, he's definitely looking for help too. So anybody that can come on board that can, he's doing everything by himself. So he's got I'm helping him find the DJs to help put it together, get the live sound going. I'm just running, right out of the DJ booth, going directly into my studio so I can record the whole show from the DJ. So, it's pretty cool, man.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'll definitely be there to check it out. Yeah, definitely. All right, man, James. I appreciate you giving me your time, man. Like I said, I definitely got to get up with you. Hopefully I can catch up with you on the next one that you guys have out there at the studio and come and check it out.
All right.
I appreciate you, man. I appreciate you. So, guys, this has been another episode of Check Me Out. Make sure you go check out James Woods Executive Studios here in Clearwater, Florida. If you want to get that good sound, man, don't go to. It's like going to a mechanic. You don't want to go to one and mess you up and think another mechanic gonna go behind their work. That's how
it's always cheaper to do things right the first time.
Save you some money. All right, guys, we out of here.
All right, later.
All right, there you go. James Wood of Executive Studios. Dope interview, man. And I think we're going to have more things good to come, you know what I mean, for y'all to check out. You know, just let y'all get more of the inside when it comes to, you know, the music business, especially being one of the people that, you know, make it flourish. You got to have a recording studio. All right. So this is the end of our show. Hopefully you enjoyed yourself. Like always, like I tell you, if you want to reach out, go ahead and holler at us. Send us an email at checkmeoutmusic@gmail.com. All one word, checkmeoutmusic@gmail.com. Shout out to the boy Batman, the DJ. You know you know how we do it, man. We always got more content for y'all. Always letting y'all know about the music. You know what I mean? Steps. You know, we showed a little love for Nas being inducted to the Library of Congress. You know what I mean? One of the greatest albums of all time when it comes to hip hop. Also, you know, we always put out more content. Just letting y'all know, like, make sure y'all check out the steps to getting 1 million streams on Spotify. You know what I mean? So just stay tuned. Like I said, always make sure you hit that subscription button. Make sure you hit that notification bell so you get alerts whenever we drop something. All right. So this has been another episode of Check Me Out. Make sure every Friday at 8:30 p.m. you check us out. All right.
What's happening? It's Real Live, and this is Check Me Out.
Yeah, this is your boy Ski 3, and I'm on Check Me Out.
Check me out.
Yo. This is the portal. Check me out. Check me out.
Check me out. Check me out. Check me out. Check me out. Check me out. Check me out. Check me out. Check me out.